This is Issues, Pane, Nyaya, the program that challenges the status quo on various topical social issues.
Good evening, Zimbabwe, and welcome back to another episode of Issues Pane Nyaya. My name is Rejoice Naraunda Makawa. A big thank you to Tariro, who held fort for me last week whilst I took a break and went off to East London, where I was dipping my feet in the sea and communing with the heavens. I had an absolutely marvelous time. Thanks to Gloria and Robert for the invitation. Tonight we're talking about something that is really quite sad. And we want to unpack the news was awash last week, about 10 days ago, with the events that are happening at Hwange Colliery Company. And isu todongonzwisisa pakangonzi madzimai anzi ari kurara panze, madzimai ari kuita demonstration as Issues Pane Nyaya. Tinenge takuda kunzwa kuti nyaya yacho iri papi chaipo. Please let us have your feedback as the program is progressing. We are on 0773910095, at Issues Pane Nyaya on Twitter, at Rejoice Nara on Twitter, on our Facebook page, Issues Pane Nyaya. What we have is a situation that is supposedly playing out at Hwange. Now, when we hear an issue, Isusu as Issues Pane Nyaya, we like to go out and to verify for ourselves. And so that's why we sent Sally through to go and verify kuti sure ndizo zviri kuitika here kuHwange. We tried to get in touch with Rugare Dobby of Hwange. But our efforts were not fruitful and didn't yield too many results. Maybe after tonight's program, Hwange will be able to come on board and to comment, because we've got tonight in the studio women-in-law Southern Africa, Dorcas Makaza Kanyimo, who went out to Hwange and spoke to the women. Dorcas, welcome back to Issues Pane Nyaya.
Thank you very much, Rejoice.
We've also got CNRG represented by Shaw Kasenye. Welcome to Issues Pane Nyaya, Shaw.
Thank you so much, Rejoice.
And then we've got Afadzwa Muropa, a gender activist who is also in the studio, who was also out in Hwange and is ready to comment on the issues that are happening in Hwange. Welcome to Issues Pane Nyaya, Afadzwa.
Thank you so much, Rejoice.
Right, Dorcas, maybe just to start us off, you might want to tell us, Kuti, what prompted kuti Wilsa, and we've heard from Sally, kuti kune vakadzi vari kurara panze, kune vakadzi vari kudemonstrate. But what prompted Wilsa to get involved and to go out to Hwange?
I think as Wilsa, we have been working in Hwange in partnership with Center for Natural Resource Governance on a project we are implementing, supported by OSISA, on making the law, the mining policies and laws more gender responsive. And in Hwange, we conducted a research last year, a gender audit of the issues around extractives and how it's impacting on women. So at this particular trip, we were going to conduct a gender training on gender, natural resources and extractives with women living in Hwange rural and Hwange urban. And when we got to Hwange, that's when we discovered that there's actually a demonstration taking place where wives and widows of employees or former employees are demonstrating against the Hwange Colliery mine for the benefits due to their husbands.
Now, what are the issues that then result from this absence of a sustainable livelihood? Because Mara is queer. What are the issues that you found on the ground?
Some of the issues that we found on the ground was, as she's saying, that vakadzi vari kukia. And this actually means kuti vakadzi are going out of their way to seek a sort of livelihood through some illegitimate means. For example, we noted that there is the increase of sex work in Hwange. There is also issues of transactional sex as well, in which wives are engaging in, girls are engaging in as well, as a source of livelihood. So, it then also means that they are going out of their way to try and make ends meet, to try and feed for the children, to also look after that husband who is still working at the mine that's not paying him.
To collaborate what Dorcas said, honestly, the issues of cases of sex rising in Hwange is very true. I will give an example of last year in mid last year, we had a case whereby two little girls of age 13 to 14, they disappeared from home, and later on when we figured out they were staying with some madare magonyeti vanozomaina ko vachitrader for sex. So you can, with that, you can see the magnitude of how desperate women are in Hwange because of not being paid. It's not an issue of sex. What has caused these women, mainly, most of them, they've been depending on agriculture. And from the researches that we have done so far, you realize that the soil in Hwange has been affected by the chemicals that come from Hwange colliery. Not only Hwange, but from other mining companies that are mining coal in Hwange. So the soil is no longer productive for women to do farming and do anything with the soil. And also water is polluted. So you find out these women, they are pushed to the corner. So at the end of the day, they end up doing sex. So the issue of sex is not an issue it has been on a rise in Hwange because of the negligence of the company not paying its workers.
Especially in mining towns, that has been the common trend, where you have an increased occurrence of commercial sex. And you need to take into account of the fact that historically within a mining sector, different people from different backgrounds come to look for work, and these are mostly men. And most of them, because of the way the mining companies have designed where the workers are supposed to stay, they are not supposed to come with their wives. Their objective is for them to provide labor to the mining companies. So you find that in that way, the social relations are also affected. The fact that the mining is supposed to bring out a lot of economic opportunities also brings way or paves way for other women who are involved in commercial sex to be having these relationships. So you find that in most cases that has been the trend, that in most mining towns you find an increase in commercial sex, and because through that activity the women, they are also trying to make a living out of it. But but then for me, the way I look at it, when we look at Hwange is along the highway, the Blawayo, Zambia, Victoria Falls highway. That also means that it's lucrative for most of the commercial sex workers to be able to obtain resources through those ways as well. So actually, it's different from mining, from agriculture. Sorry to say, the nature of the mining sector makes it difficult for a normal family setup to be established, because the objective of the mining company is for the laborers to come and to give their labor, and then they go back. So as what Dorcas had already said, it goes back to the structural system of how mining companies historically have been put in place. So it also takes a lot of commitment from the mining companies to see workers not just as mere cheap labor, but they're also fathers, they're grandfathers, they're husbands.